Was anyone for Team Bella? Welcome to Ms. Mojo, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 reasons why Bella Swan is the worst.
27 vampires, 1 human. That's great.
For this list, we're taking a look at why the protagonist of the Twilight Saga has become one of the most loathed, yet somehow one of the most iconic characters across popular media.
You better hold on tight, Spider Monkey.
Number 10, she makes life-altering decisions as a teenager. Whether you crashed your parents' car or got an embarrassing tattoo while inebriated, we all made foolish.
Trusted the wrong people, did not vet the people I did my operations with tightly enough. That was enough of a mistake. We hacked the computer room at my apartment complex, remember? I did it with a bunch of idiots, though. I would have gotten in trouble by myself doing it, but not nearly as much. It would have been 1 computer instead of all 3. You know, because by the time we got the first one, by the time we identified the application that was securing the systems, we were able to look at, you know, what the known vulnerabilities of that application were, and that made the whole thing much more straightforward.
Decisions as teenagers. Bella takes the cake, though, deciding at the ripe age of 17 that she's ready to become a vampire.
So that's what you dream about. Becoming a monster.
But the idiots that I did it with treated everything as if every single visit to the computer room was enjoined. In fact, it happened over multiple nights, and nights I wasn't even there. You know, they were smashing the printers and everything out of spite, idiots.
Being with you forever.
Edward, Jacob, and Rosalie, amongst others, continually remind Bella that she'd be throwing her mortality away. Regardless, Bella wants to spend eternity with Edward, even though she initially has reservations about marrying him. Consistency? What's that? Finally, Bella agrees to tie the knot with Edward, knowing that he'll never turn her otherwise.
I'm gonna need that ring.
While there are definitely exceptions, statistics show that most teen marriages end in divorce. At age 18, someone as emotionally immature and unworldly as Bella really...
Yeah, but on top of all that, that's part of, like, Mormon culture. Like, they try to push people to get married very, very young.
Shouldn't be committing to immortality, let alone marriage. Number 9, she neglects her friends. Twilight's portrayal of romantic relationships continues to divide critics and fans.
This is like the biggest crock of shit. Like, it's so obvious that this is Mary Sue territory.
That Bella Swan isn't exactly synonymous with friendship goals. Bella is generally cold and indifferent towards her human friends, spending most of her time obsessing over the Cullens. She only grows more distant after the Cullens leave town, shutting her classmates out entirely. Then, when Bella decides to get back in touch...
See, I mean, look, she treats everybody like shit, and they still, like, mostly forgive her.
The so-called friends that she's been ignoring, her mind still wanders elsewhere.
Keep walking.
Bella's the kind of friend who will ditch you during a girls' night out so that she can get acquainted with some intimidating strangers.
Well, they seem great. Can we go?
I'm just gonna see something.
Of course, Bella's poor social skills also extend to her supernatural friends. Number 8, she's a total klutz. Katniss Everdeen ignited a revolution with a bow and arrow. Hermione Granger fought against oppression with her wand and wits. Bella breaks her hand just by punching Jacob in the face. Yeah, an action heroine she is not. Bella can't even stroll down her own patio without slipping on ice, and you wouldn't want her on your volleyball team either.
Whoa!
I'm sorry.
At least there's always a strapping young hunk around to catch Bella and her apples. To be fair, Bella does become less clumsy after she turns into a vampire. For a majority of the series, though, she attracts awkward moments like vampires to blood. Number 7, she has zero ambition. So many people tell Bella that she's giving up everything just to be part of the Cullen clan. When you think about it, however, what is Bella giving up? She's never had any life goals to begin with. She has no hobbies, no responsibilities, and no desire to contribute anything to society. The only thing she really cares about is living happily ever after with Edward. Even then, Bella takes little initiative to make that happy ending happen.
Wow, you are really trying to kill me.
She has almost no control over her own destiny, allowing those around her to do most of the heavy lifting and decision-making. Occasionally, we do see Bella step up and fight, but there isn't a particular moment when she truly comes into her own. Number 6, she's emotionally manipulative. In a way, Bella is kind of like Scarlett O'Hara. Wait, hear us out. Both women wind up in the middle of a love triangle as a war breaks out. Just as Scarlett holds a torch for Ashley, Bella is convinced that she belongs with Edward. That doesn't stop either woman from leading other men on, however.
Don't make me choose.
Where Scarlett takes advantage of Rhett's feelings for her, Bella continually manipulates Jacob as if he were a loyal puppy dog. Even after deciding to marry Edward, Bella still toys with Jacob's emotions.
Come on, you're not supposed to be the one crying, Bella.
The difference between Scarlett and Bella is that one comes to see the error of her ways. The other suffers no ramifications for her selfish behavior or manipulative tendencies, instead getting everything that she ever wanted.
I'm asking you to kiss me.
Number 5, her world revolves around Edward. Even if you took the love interests out of Gone with the Wind, Scarlett would still be a complex character who goes through an interesting personal journey. If you took Edward out of Twilight, however, Bella would essentially be an empty husk of a human being.
I'm Edward Cullen. You're Bella?
Yes.
Everything she does throughout the saga revolves around Edward. Bella is deprived of anything resembling passion until Edward notices her. Then when he cuts himself out of her life, Bella acts as if her existence has been stripped of all purpose.
It's like a huge hole has been punched through my chest.
Granted, Edward also possesses a troubling obsession with Bella. When you stack them up against each other, though, it's Bella who lives in Edward's shadow.
Alice changes me. Can't get rid of me.
Number 4, the way she treats her parents. Charlie Swan is probably the Twilight character we sympathize with the most. Unlike the fathers in some other teen romances, he's generally understanding, caring, and always has his daughter's best interests at heart.
Hey. Still got that pepper spray?
So how does Bella repay her dad? By constantly running out on him with no explanation, by showing minimal affection towards him even when he gives her a birthday present, and by calling him his first name on a regular basis.
One of the best things about Charlie, he doesn't have her.
Then, when Bella decides to become a vampire, she doesn't bother filling in her father or her equally neglected mother. Even when the wolf's out of the bag, Bella won't tell Charlie everything. Bella frequently leaves Charlie feeling confused, helpless, and worried sick, as if he's inconsequential in her life.
Can you please just believe that I'll tell you anything that you need to know?
And I don't need to know this.
No.
Number 3, she just gives up after Edward leaves. Heartbreak is never easy to process, especially in high school, but Bella practically turns catatonic after Edward leaves Forks.
It's just not normal. This behavior. Quite frankly, it's scaring the hell out of me.
Bella, honey, we get that Edward is totally gorgeous. At the end of the day, however, he's
Dead on.
honestly not that great of a guy. He was drawn to you in the first place because he liked the smell of your blood, which is beyond creepy. He broke into your house to watch you sleep, which is straight up stalking.
I like watching you sleep. It's kind of fascinating to me.
He also decided to abandon you without stopping to consider your feelings or the turmoil that may ensue. He's not worth crying over, but Bella nonetheless spends months sitting in her room moping, and it only gets worse from there.
When you left, and he left, you took everything with you.
Number 2, she purposely puts herself in danger. Crying in bed over your ex for months on end is one thing. Putting your life in jeopardy just to feel closer to your ex is another. Upon realizing that she can hear Edward by performing dangerous tasks, Bella throws herself into uncertain peril. You'd think that wiping out on a motorcycle would have been a wake-up call, but Bella proceeds to jump off a cliff and almost drowns.
Bella, please.
Bella isn't merely coping with heartache. She's exemplifying clear signs of mental illness and needs psychiatric help. Maybe Bella would be a more intriguing character if these real psychological issues were actually addressed. But no, it's written off as typical high school stuff.
What the hell were you thinking?
I just wanted to see something.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.
Way ahead of you,
You have the
man.
option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notification model. Needless to say, Bella Swan is a far cry from Jo March, Elizabeth Bennet, and other empowering literary figures. Where those characters taught young readers about independence and maturity, Bella just encourages the unhealthy mentality that you're incomplete without a romantic partner.
You have to move. Open your eyes, look at me. I'm alive.
The idea of Bella shaping an impressionable mind's perception of relationships, or life in general, is downright unsettling. That said, of course we get that many people enjoy Twilight on a pure escapism basis and don't regard Bella as a role model.
Stop it!
I'm sorry.
Whether or not Bella has had a truly damaging impact on youth culture is up for debate. Between her dependence on Edward, bland personality, and utterly reckless nature, however, it's hard to argue that she's had a positive impact.
From the beginning, it was Nessie who wanted me there.
Nessie? You nicknamed my daughter after the Loch Ness Monster?
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from Ms.
This
Mojo,
shit
and be sure to
is-
subscribe and ring the bell to be
Insanely toxic, and yet, they ate that shit up. No, seriously, she's the worst. She's the fucking Mary Sue of the highest order, because she can be deeply, deeply flawed, treat her friends like shit, and all that other stuff in these books, and nobody ever almost nobody calls her on her shit. It's like Meyer inserted a handful of characters that will do it in order to insulate her from this, but and for her to talk shit about them and throw shade at the two characters who will do it and call her on her shit like that. But the reality, is that everybody else kisses her ass, and the fact that there's only two that will actually stand up to her and call her out on her shit and not want to be around her because she's so mean to everybody but Edward. It's like those two people are just there to be hated on. They're not there. They're not. What I'm trying to say is that if she really, really wasn't trying to create a Mary Sue type character, there would have been a whole lot more than two people who didn't like her in these books. But whatever.